Welcome back to the locker room. I am Captain Paul. That is Fajardo. What's going on there, Fajardo?
Not much, man. You know, here for another episode.
Well, throughout the season, we're going to try to keep updated and probably have a weekly roundup and small short videos throughout the week. This is going to be one of these shorter videos. A big trade, and not to say we're Nostradamus, but to say we did talk about it just like, what, a week or two ago?
Yeah.
All right, so a big trade happened from the Rangers. I feel like the Rangers did pretty okay in this deal. What do you say there?
I definitely think they got their money's worth because he was one of those top round players. I think he was a first round player for the Rangers.
Yeah, 28th overall.
Yeah, so they were able to secure another first round draft pick within the next year or two. It's all conditional, but we'll definitely dive into the details of that shortly. But yeah, I think it was a win-win for both teams. You know, Dallas gets a number one draft pick. Well, not a number one, but a first round draft pick, and the Rangers get their first round draft pick back just today.
Well, let's get into it. Lundkvist traded to Stars by the Rangers. Not the first time a Lundkvist has been moved on from. All right, defenseman was 28th selection at 2018 NHL draft, relatively recently, by the New York Rangers, and the New York Rangers received 2 conditional picks. Nils Lundkvist was traded to the Dallas Stars by the New York Rangers on Monday. The Rangers will receive a conditional first-round pick in the 2023 NHL draft and a conditional 4th-round selection in the 2025 NHL draft. If the Stars' own first pick in 2023 is in the top 10, New York will get Dallas's own first-round selection in 2024 instead, and that pick will be unprotected. So, I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, you're kind of making sure, you know, if it's this pick, because this draft's going to be really deep coming up, you protect that pick. If you're terrible, which you hope you're not, but could happen. The 22-year-old defenseman had 4 points, 1 goal, 3 assists in 25 games for the Rangers last season, and 15 points, 3 goals, 12 assists in 34 games for the Hartford Wolfpack of the American Hockey League. Lundkvist was a first-round pick, number 28 by the Rangers in the 2018 draft. This is what Stars general manager Jim Neal had to say. Niels is a skilled right-handed shot defenseman that adjusted to the North American game this past season and has a high ceiling. We felt that adding a creative player like Niels to our defensive core was necessary, and he has a tremendous opportunity to establish himself as an everyday impact defenseman at the NHL level. New York will receive a 3rd-round pick in 2025 instead of Dallas's 4th-round selection if Lundkvist has 55 points over the next 2 seasons. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't that's
a win.
That's a win. I mean, I like this. I like this trade. I think Dallas, you know, they saw Klingberg leave, right? You know, they've seen some players go out the door. You get a young defenseman. I can't really be mad at that personally. So, I think it's a good pickup. What do you say?
I think Dallas definitely got a lot in this. Obviously, they're getting. He was a first round draft pick for a reason. The kid's good. He's actually really good. His offensive mobility is really good. Even his defensive style. He doesn't have a big frame, but he knows how to use his body to cover well. And I think he's, you know, now that he's kind of understanding the game at the NHL level a little bit better, I think you'll see some more progress this season. And if he's going to have an opportunity to fight for a position, to be a regular, I think it's really good for them because the kid's hungry. The kid wants to play. That's the only reason that this trade was even made, because he was going to sit on the bench for the Rangers as a 7th defenseman and not really get as many games as he preferred. So him going to Dallas gives Dallas a hungry young player that has talent. It gives a talented young player an opportunity, you know, and for the Rangers, they're actually going to be winning it as well because they get basically their 1st-round draft pick back. You know, obviously, if Dallas gets that 1st-round draft pick in 2023 they automatically get the 2024 first round draft pick. So
Right.
either way, they're getting a first round draft pick, and then if he scores 55 points, I've seen him play. He can get to that level with consistent play. I think he can get it with 55 points within the next 2 seasons. And if he does that, well, then the Rangers get an even bigger prize because they get a 3rd round draft pick, right? So now you're getting 2 higher end draft picks for 1 draft pick, basically.
I mean, so looking at this, I'm looking currently at the Dallas defense core situation. I went with their depth charts. I can go through their roster as well. Currently, Nils Lundkvist wouldn't be on their top 6, but I think when you make a trade with that much capital in it, Lundkvist is going to be in the top 6, or at least the 7th defenseman with the Rangers. I mean, it's going to be very interesting, right? Because Nils Lundkvist is a very skill type game, right? He's 5'11". He's not like a midget, but he's like average size. He's not huge either. So he's not going to go there and thump. But I mean, Nils Lundkvist has looked good with the Hartford Wolfpack. I've watched some AHL games. I saw him play against Providence, and he did pop out to me. So I think Nils Lundkvist could have, something kind of special here. I mean, out of this defense core that they have currently, and this isn't the NHL roster this isn't from the official depth chart, but from these 6 that are listed here, obviously Heiskanen's not getting bumped. Neither is Sutter. Lindell's a left defenseman, so I think he's safe. Hakanpää,
I'll tell you who's not safe. Thomas Harley. Because at that point, you'll strengthen your left side. You can move Heiskanen to carry the second load on the second defensive pairing, move Yanni up, move Colin up to the second defensive pairing, and put Lundkvist on the 3rd one with Miller.
Colin Miller.
With Lindell, because Colin Miller will just move up and he'll just be up with Heiskanen.
The biggest problem, though, I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think Colin Miller's the odd man out because Colin Miller can't stay healthy. I mean, it's one of those things that he always gets dinged up. I actually think he's a solid defender, but the style of game he plays, just not much longevity to it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dallas make another deal here. If they're that high on Lundkvist, they make another deal. Let's move either Miller out or another player out to kind of make room for him. I mean, I feel like Colin Miller would be the deal to make. Like, if I'm the Stars, I'm shopping Colin Miller around. I'm calling up Nils Lundkvist. Right? I already invested into it, and I think, I don't know. That might be kind of a little crazy, but to me, you could dump cap, right? I mean, they're not in a salary cap issue as it is right now, right? They had $6 million, I believe, in cap space, but you could shave about $1 million cap, a little over $1 million, and maybe make another play, maybe move Colin Miller for move Colin Miller for like a wing or something, or like another depth forward that we've looked about it, not going to ruin the Stars recap we have coming up, but they could probably use another piece up front. Yep. So I think you can flip Colin Miller for a solid depth forward. Colin Miller's caps hit is 1.85. Lundkvist is 9. So yeah, they would a little bit under. Yeah, so a little bit under $1 million, but opens up a little bit more cap space. Colin Miller has he has a name out there. He's a decent depth defenseman when he's healthy. Maybe you can find someone out there that's willing. This is just me as a Bruins fan talking. I look at Colin Miller, and I'm like, we had him in our system before. He did well. He can't stay healthy. It's a knock on him. But we're trying to get rid of a guy like a Foligno or someone, a depth forward on Bruins. Maybe that's something you entertain. I don't know if that's what you do, because technically you'd be taking on more cap. But you go to a team that with maybe a more established and more successful player than Foligno, and you're like, okay, can we get another 40-point scorer on this roster to give us just a little bit more depth? That's my opinion. That's what I would do if I was GM. I'd be looking, because Nils Lundkvist, I mean, you could go with a young duo, have him play bottom pairing minutes, and just learn at the NHL level. I think that's the way to go.
I definitely agree with you on that. I definitely think that'd probably be a surprising duo, you know what I mean? Because Lundkvist, he has that that particular. He has that special something to his game. Like when you watch him play, you're like, oh man, he's gonna do something now. There's always that possibility, and he has the skill set to do it. It's just getting it right at the NHL level. He's done it before, you know, at lower levels, but I definitely think that with more consistent games, he's going to surprise you and be a very good defenseman. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting to see what happens with Nils. I wish him the best of luck. As a Rangers fan, I am, you know, very sad to see him go because he was good. I know there's a lot of Ranger fans out there that are like, oh, good riddance, or you're going to be a crybaby and stuff like that. Listen, if you don't have guys that are hungry enough to be crying about playing and fighting for a position, and you know,
you don't want them on your roster. Yeah, if you have guys that are just content, you wouldn't want them in your system.
Exactly,
because like that's. I mean, as long as you do it in a way, and he came off as a decent enough guy, so it's not like he was bashing the Rangers. He's like, yo, I just want a chance to play. And I can't fault a guy for wanting to chase his dreams, especially someone that, you know, when you look at him at the AHL level, I think he's finally ready to make that transition. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what is your thoughts about this Nils Lundkvist trade to Dallas? Do you think Dallas did really good in this deal? Do you think they did bad? Do you think the Rangers got a good return on their investment? Let us know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. And if this is your first time watching a Locker Room video, please make sure to subscribe for more content. We here at the Locker Room cover a majority of pretty much all the sports that are going around. We have a lot of shows coming up. So for the Locker Room, I'm Captain Paul. That's Fajardo, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.